So I get a lot of messages from you guys on LinkedIn and by email saying, here's my CV, here's my background, how can I get into consulting? And many of you hope that I will tell you, okay, so tweak this part of your CV and you're good to go. But the truth is there are other ways, other more efficient ways to break into this industry if you're smart about it. And in this video, I want to prove you that there are other ways, more efficient ways to get a job in consulting by telling you the real behind the scenes story about how I got a job at PwC. If you watch my 2 other videos about that, you know about my general plan on how to get into consulting, but you don't really know the details about how I chose PwC among Deloitte, KPMG, IBM, and the other firms. And spoiler alert, it wasn't because of my grades, and it wasn't 100% because of my experience. It was for a reason that many of you guys know, but ignore for some reason. So let's jump into it. Oh, by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Mahdi. I graduated like 2.5 years ago. I worked at PwC as an IT consultant, and now I'm a senior IT consultant at DXC Technology. So it all started back in my second year of university. It's been around 2 or 3 months since I decided I wanted to become a consultant, and I had around 2 years left before graduation. I had a terrible GPA and not a lot of experience. Part of my strategy was taking my classes more seriously, not skipping school and taking the lead in group projects. And it worked most of the time, except for one class, and it was called Topics in Information Systems. In that particular class, we had a project, and I was with 2 of my buddies. The project was straightforward, founding a startup in the IT industry and presenting it at the end of the semester. But then, the teacher put a girl in our team because the class was an odd number. I mean, I didn't care. More people, less work, right? Everything would have gone smoothly if she didn't decide to take the lead. She told us our initial idea was shit and that she had a better idea for our project. Yeah, I remember. I was like, what? This girl just joined this group and she's already acting this way. I was hoping for my friends to say something or to say stop, we already had an idea or something like that. But they were like, okay, let's not cause any problems. Let's go with her idea and then move on. And so since that day, I didn't have a very good first impression of her, and I was scared that my plan of getting a good grade in that class would fail, meaning it will be harder for me to get my dream job in consulting. Weeks have passed since we formed our group, and I have to say, this girl is pretty smart. She worked hard, she gave good directions, and her idea wasn't so bad after all. I learned to listen, and I got to know her more and realized she was as eager as me to get an A in this class, so I was happy. We finally got an A- in the project and became all friends along the way. The semester ended. I remember she graduated the next summer because she was older than me, but we kept in touch, sometimes going to restaurants and some others just a regular checkup text. Until a couple of months later, she told me she got a job at PwC. To be honest, I didn't know much about PwC at that time, so I was regularly asking her questions about what she did and about the work culture. But I didn't give it a second thought. I was far from getting a job in consulting. I still had a below 3 GPA and only 1 relevant job experience in my CV. Fast forward a year and a half later, I had 6 months before graduating, and despite my efforts, my GPA was still below 3 and I haven't landed any internships. But at least I got a few job experiences in an international exchange program in my CV. I still didn't have the confidence I needed to hope for a job in a Big 4 firm, and so I procrastinated at first to apply. Until I got this text message. Yep, it was that girl telling me to apply. She told me about the interview process, gave me tips on how to nail the interview, what were the questions, etc. I wasn't sure at first, but hey, what's the worst that could happen? I applied, did the logical test, and then the higher view video interview. And then I got invited to the real face-to-face interview in Toronto. I remember I was all excited when I got the news, and I was always thanking her for giving me the boost I needed just to apply for this job. Before the face-to-face interview, I got this message from her. So apparently she met with directors at PwC and she told them about me, and so they knew me just before the interview. The interview went great. I came back to Montreal and I ended up getting the offer the next day. Now I just want to reflect on this story with you guys. Who knows what could have happened if I didn't change my mind about this girl I first met. If you remember well, I had a negative first impression of her, but I didn't let that stop me from getting to know her more. And because of that, we became great friends even outside of school, and she ended up helping me get a job that is defining my career more than a year and a half later. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't stay in touch with her even after school, because remember, she graduated before me. And so there are multiple lessons from this story that I think could benefit you as well in your career. How many times did you sit in class or work with people that you just didn't take into account? You tell yourself you don't know them, so why should you interact with them? And if you interact with them, it means that you need something from them at that moment. And I want to challenge you in that. We often hear that networking is great, and I totally agree with that. But networking is not just going to events, meeting people, asking for a job, or anything else in that manner. For me, the best and easiest networking is getting to know the people that you see every day or every week on a regular basis. So people at school, people in your gym, people in your grocery store, any example that you have. When you get to know these people, keep in touch with them, be there when they need you, and be valuable to them. And this is how you nurture a relationship in the long term, because you never know when or where the next opportunity of your lifetime will be. So what I really learned with this story and with PwC is that never underestimate the person sitting next to you in any area of your life. Even if I had other opportunities at Deloitte, KPMG, IBM, if you saw my last video, I decided to choose PwC first because they were the first one who gave me an offer, yes, but more because I already knew someone there. I knew about the work culture, about the responsibilities, about the growth opportunities, because more often than not, HR people will tell you stuff during the interview process, you get excited, and then when you sign the offer, you start the job, it's something different. And I didn't have to worry about that because I knew someone there, and it was a great friend, and she was able to tell me all about the job. And that's why I decided to go with PwC. It was safer for me, and I was right at the end. So if you're watching this, Rehab, I would like to thank you for helping me get a job that is defining my career right now, and that helped me kickstart my career the right way. All right, for some of you who will say, oh, okay, so you just got lucky, you had a great friend and then she just helped you get a job after you graduate, it happens to a million people. You will not want to miss my next week's video on how I got a job at DXC Technology right now without applying, without DXC actually hiring people, and by getting a promotion all at the same time. And so, if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe because, well, the video will be available next week. So, like usual, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It would really help me and help this video get seen by other people because of the YouTube algorithm. So make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you have any questions about consulting or anything else, you know that I got you. Just leave your questions in the comment section below. And I'll talk to you on Friday. Ciao.